Yeah. What is up? What is happening? Welcome to another episode of Respect the Court. And I normally do not record on Sundays because, I just kick back with the family, with friends, and do my thing. But I, like many other basketball fans throughout the world, were surprisingly, and I do say that loosely, surprisingly shocked when we heard the news last night that Luka Doncic is going to LA and that Anthony Davis is heading to Dallas. You're just sitting there like, what is going on? And I heard about it because, I was kicking back with my son last night. He's like, hey, Dad, look at this. I was like, what is this? He's like, Luka's getting traded to LA. I was like, where's LA? He said, he's going to the Lakers. I'm like, no, he's not. What are you talking about? Why would Dallas do something dumb like that? And then he's like, no, they're not even going to. They traded him. I was like, let me see that. So I look at his phone, and sure enough, as you see right there on the graphic, yeah, it happened. I was just like, you can't be serious right now. And then they're sending AD to Dallas. I was like, wait a second. How? Why? What? So many questions were running through my mind. I mean, where to even start? And so, there's others out there who have their channels and have their info and they put it all out there. But sometimes you just got to sit back, take a moment to just reflect and really gather your thoughts as to how impactful this trade is for both teams and, in a sense, for the entire NBA. Because, this is big. This is more than big. This is a huge shift. Not only for both teams, but just when you think about it, for superstars as well. This is a basketball channel. I like to talk more about the game itself, the basketball, the ins and outs, of how to play the game. But, you also got to look at it from a business perspective. I don't care who you are. That's just something you got to do. And I guess we're entering a phase now where it was big about player empowerment. I think now GMs are starting to take their power back with the approval of owners and saying, hey, you know what? We're done with this. We're done with whiny, cryy superstars that have a fit because they don't get their way. They don't get their trades. They don't get their personnel, so on and so forth. So we're like, you know what? If we don't think you're committed, bye. Right? Bye. Because what you're not going to do, you're not going to, one, either sabotage our ball club, or you're not going to hold our ball club hostage. So that's my take on it. So that's one way of looking at it, that maybe the GM in Dallas was fed up. The GM, Rob Pelinka for Los Angeles Lakers, fed up. They're like, you know what? No, y'all don't run. This is a business. Players don't run this. You guys are employees. All right? You guys got W-2s. All right? There's the owner, and then there is the president of basketball operations. Sometimes that's the GM. But in the end, business has to happen first before any player's incentive happens. If you're doing good for the business, then we keep you. If we feel you're not going to be doing good for the business 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, then you know what? We're not going to lock you into a contract for 3, 4, 5 years if we feel that you're not going to give us your very best. So it sucks, but I get it. But anyway, enough of that. Let's kind of get into the nitty gritty and see how this affects both teams. I'm not going to sit here and say that it was a good or bad trade. I think it's just a trade that we'll have to see what happens and see what materializes, because there's no way we know what's going to happen. We just don't. First and foremost, both stars are injured, so they're not even going to be playing right away. They may not even be playing for like another 3 to 4 weeks, so who knows? At least for Anthony Davis, since he had the abdominal strain. I know Luka has the calf strain, but again, who knows? We don't know what is going to happen. But just because we don't know doesn't mean we can't take our 2 cents and our basketball knowledge and at least give a guesstimate as to what we think is going to happen. So for me, we're going to start with LA. So in terms of the short-term pros, I mean, hey, you created a huge buzz, right? Just with this trade, you got yourself right away a generational player. Like, that is incredible. And something that's going to be a immediate impact is that just the fan base of LA is just going to become more diverse, because all those fans who were Luka fans are now going to be LA fans, Lakers fans. So your base has now broadened. So, Lakers, good for you all. Like, you understand the business side, that this is becoming a global sport, has been a global sport. And so what better way to tap into that by getting a global superstar in Luka? That's incredible. And then the second thing is, come on, instant offense, right? Luka right now is averaging 28.1 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, and 7.8 assists per game. So you're not losing out in terms of offense. Considering his play style, I think in terms of Lakers offense, it'll go up a few notches for sure. Anthony Davis was just a different type of offensive player. He played more towards the post. I mean, yeah, he can come out of the post. He can shoot the mid-range. He could shoot a three every once in a while. But his bread and butter is mid-range and in the post and really playing in the paint. And with Luka, he's just by his game, he's going to shoot more threes. So I feel just in terms of that, the immediate impact, short-term pro is that with Luka's offense, the Lakers' offense is going to go up a bit. Of course, that all comes down to how J.J. Redick finds some way to bring out Luka's gifts. And I don't know. We'll see how that works out. So that'll be something. Of course, you got the long-term pros of this. I mean, again, like I mentioned, you have a generational superstar for the next 10, 12, 15 years. Or maybe not 15. I don't think Luka's going to play till he's 40. But no question, he's going to be there 10 to 12 years, barring serious injury or his desire to be traded. Yeah. The Lakers got it, like, right there. And it kind of, the Lakers, this is what they do. They trade for generational talent. They did that with Shaq. They did that with Kobe. They did that with Kareem. Although Magic was drafted, but that's all right. I believe Magic was drafted. Anyway, but that's kind of like the Lakers' MO, and they will trade, definitely will trade for top tier superstars. And you can build around Luka for the future. It's going to be similar to like in Dallas, right? You got a guy who can get to the basket. You got a guy who can shoot. He's shifty, and all you need to do is surround him with some 3D players, couple post players who can rebound, protect the rim, and your chances for LA to win a championship in the next, I would say, 3 to 8 years will be awesome. So, yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. I think that's going to be something incredible for the Los Angeles Lakers because, I mean, here's the thing. That kind of trade, that's basically saying to LeBron, we're done with you. We're pushing you out. And you don't trade for somebody like that with the intent of LeBron leading the helm. That just doesn't make any sense. You are going to acquiesce. You are going to do everything you can to appease your new superstar. He's the one that's going to be there for the long term. LeBron, you're done. You're on your way out. So, again, this is going back to my thoughts on GMs. They're taking their power back and they're like, look, we're just done. We're done. Like, we don't have to worry about you, and we'll see what happens in terms of LeBron. Will he finish the season? Of course. Will he retire? I have no idea. But it'll be interesting to see, like, are you going to stick around for another year or two of this, knowing that, hey, new kid on the block? And, I mean, yeah, it's cool. Like, I get to play with Luka, but, like, in the end, Luka's the man. Luka is the man. This is the guy. You can't sit here and tell me that LeBron's going to be okay with being second fiddle. Nah, I don't see that. But again, this is long-term because by that point, you expect LeBron to be gone. Now, the short-term cons of this are, of course, you got defensive issues now. At least when you had Anthony Davis, you had a rim protector. I don't remember the other gentleman that they have right now who is one of their other rim protectors. But I mean, this is Anthony Davis, perennial All-Star. When he gets going, he's definitely top 10 player. And now you don't have that. LeBron does not play defense the way he used to. Luka has never been a top tier defensive player. So now at the perimeter, you're kind of losing out to more shiftier, craftier offenses that can figure out who to target and where their weaknesses are going to be. So we'll see how that happens, right? And of course, the most obvious thing is you have two ball dominant players who play the exact same position. They play the same position. Now, someone has to play off the ball. I don't know if that's going to be LeBron because LeBron has very, very much told us and shown us that he does not play off the ball well. When Russell Westbrook was there, was not the kind to play off the ball. And you saw how it just did not work because Russell was the guy who was trying to get to the rim. I mean, you're not going to be the guy that's going to break down the defense and kick it to LeBron for a three. That's not his game. LeBron's game is get to the basket, power through, or if there's a switch on a big man, take advantage of that, or if he's able to pop up for a three on the top of the key. That's been his game. Luka is everywhere. Luka will go to the hoop. Luka will shoot. Luka will do a little bit of your post move. So I don't see in the short term how this works. I'm sorry. We have seen that it doesn't work before. You can't put a ball dominant player next to LeBron. It doesn't work. And now you're going to expect Luka to play off the ball? That's not his strength either. Like, his strengths come from him having the ball in his hand. That's it. And I'll be really interested to see how that really works out. But again, it's short term because I don't see LeBron playing with him more than a year, if that is even the case. We'll see. He's definitely not going to play 2 seasons with Luka. I don't see that. But anyway, this is just fantastic just to look at the different scenarios and ways that they're going to even run their offense and what defensive schemes they're going to be able to employ. Because, again, you don't have a rim protector anymore. And I'll be honest, the Lakers haven't played great teams in the last week or so. I mean, they've played Boston. They kicked Boston. Yeah, they did something to Boston. So that was cool. They beat the Knicks just last night, so that was cool. But do I see them going deep in the playoffs? Oh, hell no. I don't see it. No. Now, the long-term con of this is really more for Luka and not the Lakers, because the Lakers are set with this guy. I think it more comes down to Luka if he's willing to start playing defense over the next few years or for the rest of his, career, being able to play at a high level of defense. I don't see it. But you can build a team around him where you have 3D guys and really kind of hide his defensive weaknesses. But again, that could hurt them in the long term because it hurt them in the playoffs a couple years back. And it hurt them last season when they were trying to go for the championship. He was whining and crying so much to the refs that, at some point he just wasn't playing D. And good teams will take advantage of that. So we'll see. We definitely will see. I'll tell you what, if nothing else, I'm definitely going to watch. All right, now for Dallas. So I just think that there was just some kind of issue, some kind of disgruntled, some kind of fallout somewhere for this trade to happen. Because I've never, except for when Shaq was traded to Orlando, that is the last time I've seen that huge of a trade. Anyhow, but let's get into it. So Dallas, in terms of this working out for them short term, well, they are now better defensively. They were already a pretty decent defensive team, but just having Anthony Davis at the rim to play the 4, which he always wanted. You got Daniel Gafford playing the 5, Derek Lively playing the 5, so he can really concentrate on being the 4. And for me, this is like a very similar lineup to what the Cavaliers have, right? You got 2 guards. You got a 3D player and Ty Jerome, who can do a little something. And then you got Evan Mobley and you got Jared Allen. And you got two guys who are 6'9" and taller. I see that working out very well for Dallas as we head into the later months of the season. I also feel that you can run better pick and roll schemes with AD and Kyrie than you could with Luka and whoever else he was going to run pick and rolls with. Because, again, for that to happen, you got to have the conditioning. You got to have the mobility to run this pick and rolls over and over again and to really dissect the defense. Not to say Luka couldn't do it. I just think the pairing of Kyrie and AD will work very well, especially with AD being able to play up the four. So, again, we'll see how this works out short term. Short term. And by short term, when I'm saying short term, I'm talking like the next 2 months. Short term. 2.5 months going into the playoffs. Short term. End of the season. Short term. Now, the long term, now here's my problem with this trade. Now, you do have a good backup point guard with Max Christie. Like, I think he's an underrated guard. He's solid defensively, puts up good numbers. I think he was just stifled a bit in LA. And it's easy to get stifled in LA when you're kind of playing in the shadow of LeBron. I get that. But long term, you have Kyrie, who is turning 33 this season. Clay is turning 35. AD is turning 32. So your three major offensive weapons are north of 30. So they have a very small window to make anything happen. I'm giving them 4 seasons. And 4 seasons, and I don't see Clay even being a part of it because he only has a 3-year contract. So for Clay, they have to win it either this year or next season because his contract is up. Kyrie will be 36, and I'm not sure about his contract situation and how that's structured, but is he a free agent in the next year or two? AD comes along, he's 32. What does that look like? How's this contract going to be structured? Is he going to be around for the next 3 to 4 or 5 years? I don't know. But it gives them a very small window to do anything. Also, now that Luka is gone, Kyrie will have to now assume more of the playmaking, ball handling load. I mean, he's been doing that since Luka's been injured, but we're talking an entire season. We're talking an entire season where you're asking Kyrie to be the playmaker and the ball handling whiz that he is and make something happen every single night. Kyrie's great, but I don't see him as like the ultimate. He's not the playmaker. He's not the playmaker or point guard. He is your point shooter. He is like your off the ball shooter. He is like your shooting guard, kind of like how Allen Iverson was, right? He was the 2. And when you got him the ball, he was just going to put in work. But, yeah, this is fascinating. Like, yeah, this is a shocking trade. Shocking, stunning, surprising. Use whatever adjective you want to use, but it all fits. And, yeah, I am anticipating what's going to happen. Not even just this season, but in the next year or two when both guys have had the opportunity to go through training camp and really get acquiesced into the team, the offense, and have an entire full year of playing with their new team. So yeah, that's gonna be something to watch. So shifting is happening. We'll see. I don't know, y'all. I really don't know. But yeah, I'll catch you on the next one. And this is some interesting stuff that we've seen unfold. Catch you later. Peace.